All right. Looks like we are recording. So I'm doing a mission. It's a simple one. Just doing some laser guided bonds with moving targets. That's kind of it. I have this whole like trigger system set up and all that, but we're gonna kind of skip all that because I'm having some troubles with my laser guided bombs not hitting their targets. So I'm gonna record this showing you everything I'm doing from the get go. So it's gonna be kind of long. We're gonna fly out about 100 miles, drop some bombs, see if they hit their targets and go from there. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just tried this like twice now, and the bombs are never on target. So there's a step I'm missing, or I'm doing something wrong. So this video is to kind of record that, and if it doesn't work again, I'll put it up on YouTube, and you guys can tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong because I can't figure it out. And I've done this 100 times, so I'm not sure. So, without further ado, let's get this thing fired up. So, battery on, APU on, canopy closed, oxygen on, bingo set to, let's do 4,000. All right, APU's running, right engine crank, there it goes. And at 18, we'll introduce throttle. There we go. Right engine starting. I'm going to start flipping all my switches for the... Oh, I got to... There we go. I didn't have the game focused. All right, those flip switches are flipped.
Roll left.
All right, we'll stop the bit test. We'll skip all that. We'll go to our HSI, turn our radar on, turn our INS alignment to CV, and do stored heading. While that's running, we'll clear the faults on the FCS page. They're cleared. I'll hand down here and set my radar altimeter if I can find the right switch. There we go. 200 feet's good for takeoff. Start the left engine. '17, 18. Introduce throttle. Flaps to full. They already were. Okay, cool. Or not full. Auto. Sorry. Alright, left engine is starting. Left engine started, APU off. Alright, now we're going to take a look at our stores page. We'll move over on this side and do that. So for the stores, I just have GBU 12s on this. So what I'll do is I'll set the code to be, let's do 2172. And I'm wondering if that's the problem. Like the code that I'm using is invalid. But I set all of them to 2172. You can see that that's there. You got 2172 on each station here. So that's good. We'll start warming up our FLIR. Zoom back out a little bit and kind of do this. We'll probably turn the HUD on. We'll do that. I'm going to skip the HMD alignment because I don't really care about the JHAMICs. I'm not going to use it this trip. For other things, we'll turn on our IFF. Our TACAN will turn on and set that to 72 X-ray, which is the ship that we're on. We'll box TACAN so we have it in the HUD right there. So we're on the Abe Lincoln. Another thing I saw online is if you go to position and then GPS, that helps, but I think that helps with the dumb bombs. INS is aligned. We'll go to IFA, get the chief to release the wheel chocks.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
I can break off.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Okay, so we can start heading up here a little bit. We'll just do a quick once over, arm the ejection seat. Everything looks good. We'll turn on our, well, we'll keep the lights off for now. And we'll take off at catapult 3. Spread the wings. Tell me to come left. All right, I'll just come left. Stop. Lock the wings. Make sure they're... Oh! I hit the button too fast. So one thing with the wing takeoff panel, if you move the switch too quickly, it doesn't recognize it. All right, lock that and put our hook down, or our launch bar down. Oh, I should probably close the canopy. I'm wondering why it was so loud. I thought I did that. Okay, coming forward. That's a lot better. Stop. We're under pressure. Launch bar up, flaps at half. Takeoff trim set, and we'll up that up to 17 based on our weight. 17 is set. I think we're all good. So one thing I am tracking is I got to set the laser code, but we'll do that in the air. All right. Burners on, wipe the controls, and salute. Take a sip of beer. Maybe that's my problem. Hands off the controls. And here we go. Gear up, flaps up, burners off. Come to the left. Come to the right. Same thing with the gear. So we're looking for 300 feet, 300 knots. So we're about 300 knots. We'll hit the auto throttles on that. So we're coming up to 300 feet. And we'll kind of level off here. And now trying to do this procedurally as best I can here. And do 7 miles out. So we're just going to fly this for 7 miles, and then we're going to go to Gudada, which is 64 Yankee. I put a TACAN station out there. Trim the aircraft a little bit here. And then I have to trigger the event, because I'm not doing the whole mission here, and just do manual start. It's going to come out with a narrative box that tells you what you're supposed to do. All right, so just kind of waiting for 7 miles here. 6 miles. Get that text box that comes up here about now. There it is. So basically, there's some Russian forces. We're supposed to wait until they get into Georgia before we attack. Full throttle, coming up to about 10-degree takeoff angle here. To get up to about 25,000 feet is what I'm looking to do. So we'll just kind of rest that in there. We'll set our TACAN to, what was it, 64 Yankee. There's Gudada off to the left, so we'll start heading there. And one thing I like to do for fuel conservation is hit the climb button on the FPAS page, and you'll see that 418 above the box there. It tells us our optimal speed for climbing. So we just try to match that speed to give us the best rate of climb for fuel. And we're taking off. We got 83 miles to Gudada. As we're ascending, what we'll do is we'll go into master arm on, dispenser bypass, air to ground mode. You can see the JDAMs, or not JDAMs, GBU 12s are ready, but we don't have our FLIR yet. So let's go ahead and check on the status of that. We'll move that over on this page. It looks ready, so we'll turn the FLIR on and velocity vector that, move it to IR, just so we can see a little bit better. One thing, if you do go into air to ground, you do lose the climb number. So we're just gonna do this until we get to about 350, and then we'll go down to a 5-degree pitch up. See our lovely GB12s there. And we got 75 miles to go. So I want to engage about 25,000 feet while I'm dropping the bombs. Any lower, they may engage. I do have some flares ready if needed. I'm going to start decreasing my pitch here just to maintain about 350 knots or so. All right, on the left screen, we'll bring up the FLIR. On the right screen, we'll bring up our attack radar and put it on GMT with a 40-mile span so we can find our moving targets there when they come in. So 20,000 feet. And this is the calm part, where you're just kind of flying, enjoying the view. All right, we're getting close to 25. Let's go ahead and set up our laser target designator code to 2172 as well. So now if we look at the stores page, we have 2172 in the box for each one of the stations, and our laser code is set to 2172. So nothing's blinking telling us, hey, it's not right. We should be good. And I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to be worrying about fuel too much. I'm just going to do full mill power all the way out there. Try to keep this video as short as possible. And take another sip of beer. So at this point, we just need a target, right? So we got to find a target on the radar and then acquire it with the FLIR to make sure we have a good, proper target here. I still need to come up to 25,000, so let me do that. We do have to arm the laser, but we'll do that when we get it kind of fenced in here a little bit. Maybe a little flyby as we come out of the clouds. Stuff. All right, we're at 25, so we'll level off here, and what we'll do is we'll turn on our autopilot. We'll do a coupling and a barometric altitude hold, so the plane is flying right to Godada at 25,000 feet. And we're going to keep just full mill power, again, to keep our speed up. Not worry too much about fuel. It would be nice to have enough to make it back to the carrier and land. I don't know if I'll film that part, but because this is really about dropping GBU 12s. If you're curious why the carrot or circumflex is not perfectly lined up to Godada, it's because of wind, and we can see that on the HSI. Zoom in here. So you can see this is where we're heading with the wind, and this is where our nose is pointing. So this is Godada. Because there's wind going from right to left, we need to, no, I'm sorry, from left to right. We need to point a little to the left. Do that. Coupling takes care of all that for you, so you don't need to worry about it. All right, we're kind of close, 50 miles. Some other cool things you get with the HSI is we have 3 minutes and 13 seconds until we get to Godada. That's kind of nice to know. It's 28 miles. 341 is the bearing that we got to be flying to get to it. So all TACAN stuff today. No waypoints. I did forget to uncage that, so we'll do that now, I guess. All right, let's bring up that air-to-ground radar again. And we're looking for any bricks that show up. If there's a brick, we'll engage it right away, despite rules of engagement for this scenario. I'm just trying to play with it. So we can kind of see Godada. Yeah, it's right under the nose there. There is a way to display the map as well. Oh, hold on, how do we do that? Let's see. I don't know. There's a way to display the map over this. Maybe it's under data. Nope. Can't remember how to display that. Freeze, reset, silence. Yeah, that's something else I got to figure out, because I know you can have like the map view. If we go to this, you can have that over the top of your GMT, but not quite sure how that works. Channel? No. Not sure. All right, so we're basically over Godada. I know the ground moving targets are over there, so we'll start flying that direction. Oh yeah, we lost a couple. That's fine. Our barometric hold back on. Okay, see the brick on the radar? It's right here. It's about 35 miles out. So we'll sensor control switch to the right, move our TDC over the brick, punch it in, and then see if we can pick anything up on the FLIR for any ground moving targets. So I'm going to kind of just level us off here and slow us down to 300 knots. I'll zoom in. Oh, I got a sensor control switch left. And we can zoom in and try to find these targets. There they are. I'll zoom in more so you can see them. Auto throttle's on. So those are our targets there. And because we're so far away, probably can't get a point track on it, but we'll start flying towards them anyway. Okay, another thing I have to do that I did forget is electronic fusing instantaneous. So those that were watching this the whole time thinking that, I just remembered. We'll arm the laser. You see L arm in the HUD, so laser is armed. Lining up to the ASL here, azimuth steering line. So we're heading right towards our targets now. Let's see if we can get a point track on it. So sensor control switch right, area track, and right again. Nothing. It's not picking it up because we're too far away. So 25,000 feet, 300 knots. Everything looks good on the stores page. Everything looks good on the FLIR page. We're not getting any warnings. We're heading straight towards the azimuth steering line, and we're waiting for our release cue to come down from 99. Now I'm going 300 knots just to keep it slow so I have time to acquire the targets here, so we don't add that to the mix of things that are wrong. Probably be in range, probably around here. We should be able to get one now. Okay, so we got a lock on the that second tank there. That's fine. We'll blow that one up. Fine, that's good by me. We got 60 seconds to release. Just kind of flying towards the azimuth steering line. It's going to start moving to the right now because the tank is moving to the right. We got 40 seconds. Laser is armed. Laser code set. Master arm on. Air to ground mode selected. Everything says ready. 30 seconds to drop. Flying towards the azimuth steering line. Seconds. At 5 seconds, we'll get the cue to drop. And holding the pickle button down. And it's away. So I'll just kind of maintain this heading. We got auto laser on in 25 seconds. Flying off to the left of it just because the T-pod's on the left. 10 seconds for laze. We'll zoom out here just a little bit so we can see the explosion. Okay, we're lasing now. You can see everything's blinking on the FLIR page. Time to impact now. And nothing. What did I miss? All right. Rearming the laser. I'm gonna fly out a little bit here and kind of turn around. Usually do about 10 miles. So we'll try to pick them up around there. So I go about 10 miles out and then fly back in. Not sure what I did wrong. And now I don't have a target either, so I'm just gonna turn around, I guess. Autopilot off. Like go past that spot? Wow. Okay, we'll pick them up again. Got him. Yeah, we lost it because we masked. We may not have enough time here to reacquire. Oh, we reacquired already. Good. 30 seconds to release. A barometric hold back on. $15 seconds to release. Get a better lineup on this azimuth steering line. And holding down the pickle button. And it's away. Blazing in 25 seconds. Blazing. Just flew over them. Nothing. So is 2172 an invalid code? Because it used to work. So I'm not sure what's wrong. So let's go to 1688 and then back in there. Nope, that didn't take. Code 16. Enter. Go back in there. Okay, so now it's blinking because the Target laser target isn't right, so let's put that to 1688. Enter. Now it's not blinking, so we should be good. 10 miles away from the target. So re-engage. Laser armed. Air to ground mode selected. Laser codes are all good. Am I too high up? Is that the thing? Do we got to re-engage at a lower altitude? I'm not sure. So let's kind of swing around and come down in some altitude here. All right, we got to reacquire. Completely lost them, so on the road. All right, let's get them on air to ground. Clouds don't help. That's where it hit. All right, we gotta find them again. There they are. I don't think we're getting it this time. No, we were too close. All right, well, we found them. So we'll just kind of fly out a little bit. We'll try, we just passed them. We'll try 5 miles out. Nah, that's going to be too short. We'll try 7 miles and we'll do a turn around here. We're at 20,000 feet now, so we'll see if that has any bearing. Actually, you know what? We might go to 10 just so I have time to reacquire. I know they're directly behind me. So like a 50 something. All right, good enough. We still got them on the floor, which is amazing. Let's drop down to 15,000 feet. 20 seconds to release. Laser is armed. Got a good point track. Pickle release, or pickle button pressed, and bombs away. Slow down. Maintain this heading for a little while here. Lasing in 5, 2, 1. Lasing. Impact in 3, 2, 1. Skadoosh. And again, not. Oh, there we go. Okay, that time I hit it. So am I too high or was I too slow? That is, I guess, the question. So I'm thinking we were too high. Let's try to acquire a new target here. We'll maintain 300 knots and this altitude. And we'll see if maybe that's the problem. I was just too high. I also was like super fast, so it could be any one of those. Trim the aircraft a little bit here. All right, let's turn back in. Laser is armed. Seconds to release. We're slower than I was before, but at same altitude, 15,000 feet. Ready to pickle and pickle and one away. Blazing in 20 seconds. We'll slow down. So we were at about 320 knots when we pickled. Blazing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blazing. Blinking, blinking. Confirm blazing. Good target. 3, 2, 1. Skadoosh. Okay, so it seems to be altitude. I don't know what is the highest altitude that these things work, but it worked at 15,000 feet. So I guess that's my engagement zone. Oh, shit. What did I do? Oh, well. Okay, well, I think problem solved. We'll just head back home. Stick around if you want. We'll head back to the boat. Get some altitude here. Tack in 72 X-ray. Turn the FLIR off, laser off, HSI on the left, or on the right rather, FPAS on the left, change the home waypoint to something invalid, box climb, and this is probably a good distance. It wants us at 38,000 feet at 0.82 Mach for the best fuel, but at our current we're going to have 360 miles and we have 96 miles to go. So what we'll do is autopilot, barometric altitude hold, and we'll couple. So on the FPAS page, I'm looking here. See, where's my mouse? There it is. 342 miles is our range currently at our current speed. We can get 374 if we go to 0.7 Mach. I'm not going to do that. We're going to go full bore. So we're probably not going to have 317. And then our optimum range is if we go to 38,000 feet at 0.82 Mach. That'll give us 427 miles. This is fine. 280, whatever it is right now is fine, because we only have 90 miles to Abe. Another thing we can do, let's bring our attack radar back up, go into C mode at 40 miles, and then we'll be able to know where the boats are, so we can know when we have to start descending. Put our HSI up over here so we can see when we're within 40 miles. We should be able to see the carrier group on our radar right in front. It's a little trick I do. I don't think we're gonna have enough fuel because I'm going so fast, because I don't want this video to be stupid long. What are we at now? 38 minutes. I know none of you are watching at this point, but it might be fun to watch me bolter land. One thing we can do to save is go to our stores, and we can drop everything. We'll do selective jettison to do this. So we'll move our selective jettison over to stores and punch in the center, left inner, right inner, left outer, right outer. Master arm on, and then push the jettison selection button. That'll make us a little lighter and get us some more speed. All right, so go back into safe. All right, and turn those off. Bring our HSI back up. 72 miles to go. And we're going too fast for our current standing to get us in range, or tell us what a range is. So if you see Mach here, it's because we're going too fast. We're going Mach 0.94. So we're kind of hauling ass to get that range back to Abe Lincoln as quick as possible. Perfect time for a sip of beer. We probably should have gone to at least 35,000 feet to save some fuel, but whatever. What do we got? 6,000 pounds. We'll probably be okay. My bingo alarm's going to go off though, so let me change my bingo to 2,000. So one of the things you can do with this home alarm, you get the beep beep every time you increase throttle when you're trying to land, like, hey, go home. Like, I'm there. So I set that to an invalid waypoint, and it will stop that from happening. That's why there's an X there. The problem is you can't change that now unless that current waypoint is a valid waypoint. So then you got to go in and create a waypoint that's something. So then you can move it back to your home waypoint if you wanted that. We don't need the climb anymore because we're not climbing. All right, 56 miles. When we're at 50 miles, we'll call in. So we'll get our comms ready. Channel 2 is mother on comm 1. We'll just go ahead and do it now. So F5 for ATC, F3 for CVN, F1 for inbound.
210. March Moms 334 450. Angels 25. State 5.8.
210, Mother's weather is visibility 10 plus miles. Scattered clouds at above 10,000. Altimeter is 29er. Case 1 recovery expected BRC 353. Report see me at 10.
All right, so BRC is 353. We're not going to plug that in yet because then the coupling will jack us up. All right, so we're good on that. Let's put up our ADI on this page. And our HSI is down there if we really need it. Eventually, we'll replace it with the right DDI. We'll put the HSI over there after we acquire the carrier group. So when we see the carrier group, we should see them about here. What I'll do is put a target right here, which is about 10 miles before we get to the carrier group. And we want to be about 2,000 feet at that point as we're coming in. So when we hit that 10-mile mark, there they are right there. So sensor control switch right, move the TDC about 10 miles before the carrier group, punch that in, throttle back, and just fly to that. So you have your descent cue right to there. And then when we get to 2,000 feet, we'll level off and fly to the carrier group. Trim the aircraft a little bit here because we just had some trim in, then we dropped off all the weight there, and then when autopilot kicked off, we have to reset the trim. So there we go. We're heading towards the carrier group. So we don't need that anymore. We can pull up our HSI, and with all the autopilots off, now we can dial in our 353. And we can see our distance to the course line. Can't actually. Not sure why. Oh, because I don't have TACAN selected. That's why. Okay. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and do that because we won't lose our cue. Maybe we're too far away from the course line. So 22 miles to the boat and 10,000 feet. Oh, the course line is set on the target. So let's get rid of that. Rebox the TACAN. Then set our course line. Okay, now we have the distance. 8.2 miles to the course line. So we want to head parallel to the boat at about 5 miles. Turn on our radar altimeter.
Altitude.
Crossing 5 now. We're about 2,000 feet, so we'll start shallowing up our descent. We're 12 miles. We're about ready to call in. 6 miles to the course line. Thousand feet. So autopilot on radar altimeter hold. Come on a reciprocal course. Call in a mother.
210. See you at 10.
Update state, switched out.
210. State 5.3.
We're slow. .250 knots is what we're looking for. Good enough. We'll throw on the auto throttles. Our ADI is off, so reset that. There's the boat right there off the boom, canopy boom right there. And we are 5 miles away from the course line, so that was kind of perfect. It's probably the only thing I'll get perfect on this, but okay, let's put our hook down. We'll get signals Charlie here any second.
Tower 210. Overhead Angels 2. State 5.1.
210. Tower, roger. BRC 353. Signal is Charlie.
Okay, so we'll extend away from the circle at 0.3. So we're just going to fly this until we're about, well, until we're behind the boat. And then we'll come down to 800 feet, 350 knots, and try to fly just to the right side of the boat. That's probably good. Autopilot off. Start coming down and turning in. So we want 800 feet, 350 knots. Hook us down. Kind of in our base leg here. Thousand feet. still slow, but we're kind of away. Oh yeah, and I do have this mission that I put on top of this. Like I added some units or whatever to the Bankler's Case One Recovery Trainer. So we're gonna get graded on this for the whole pattern. So no pressure on me. Coming up to 350 knots, right 800 feet. So we'll try to maintain all of that. A little high. So 350 knots, 800 feet basically. Deck is clean. And I go to the 3/4 mile mark here. So we got 4 points for that. All right, kill the throttle, boards out, and do the brake turn. At 250 knots, we'll drop the gear in the flaps. Trying to maintain 800 feet the whole time. Gear and flaps are down. We're a little low there. All right, coming down to 600 feet. And we're 1.2 miles away from the boat, so that's good. But we're a little high, so we're probably going to get some points off for that. No, we did good. 11 out of 11 there. That was great. All right, so we'll start coming in. 30-degree bank, coming down to 500 feet. Can't see shit. Gear and flaps are down, hook is down. Perfect altitude. Lined up left. And high now.
You're high.
Now lined up right.
You're drifting right.
Now we're low. That was pretty damn good. Three-wire okay. 53 out of 75 points. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm happy with it. All right, hook up. And we'll get the hell off the deck. Okay, so pretty damn good landing, honestly, for me, anyway. I'm sure a lot of you out there can do better. So yeah, GBU 12s, you got to be below 25,000 feet for them to work, apparently. I'm not sure what the actual, or at least in DCS, what the game is saying, like, they won't work. I guess it makes sense if they're too high up. They drift too much and the wind takes it, maybe? I don't know. And they're like too far off course. Because you got to drop them. So you're dropping them from a higher altitude and from a further distance. Right? Ugh. And we'll shut this down hard. So I guess that's the fix, is don't be so high up. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.